Magic.
You say under Coven?
No.
Welcome to Under Coven with Sam
and Katie, the spiritual podcast for regular people.
Cool people. Fun people.
Just not boring people.
We hope you love it.
Oh my gosh. Hi.
Hi.
So we're having a light start to this conversation today, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Light.
Yes. It's been a day. It's been a day. So let's just keep having it be a day.
Let's just roll.
Okay. I have stories for you. I have stories and revelations, and I don't know how I feel about it because I feel like it's going to be a lot of me speaking, but I'm interested to get your take on it. So maybe just like interject as I'm talking, because otherwise I'm just going to be like filling the space. But anyway, so Michael and I went away last weekend, this weekend.
Yeah.
Whatever. It was the very first time we've been away without our children together.
They
are 2.5. I mean, it's a twins thing, right? It's like the nature of how this all goes. And it was great. It was so great. It was interesting. I'm not even the point of the story is not to tell you about the weekend, but anyway, I will start there. It was great, but it was also like I think once you hit a certain age, you're not like so depleted anymore, and your relationship isn't like totally off the rails anymore. Maybe it's just us. Who the fuck knows? But we were gone and it was wonderful, but it also wasn't like, oh damn, we needed this. But like a year ago, we would have been like, oh my God, we needed this, right? But the best part about it was my story for you. So since I'm never alone and we're never like necessarily alone together in this space where like your responsibility isn't like, oh, it just ended, it's about to start again after nap. Like you actually didn't have responsibility.
Right. Well, and even like when you're home, if your kid wakes up, you're going to go get your kid.
Exactly. So like there were actual no ties, the responsibilities.
Yeah.
So I may or may not have taken my prescribed fun medicine that we call it.
Call it medicine.
My recreational drugs. Or was using them recreationally. And meditated. Because I was like, I'm going to use this out of a therapeutic setting. I want to see what comes up. Right? Is that a normal
meditating?
thought process?
So did you take like during the day?
Yeah, in the middle of the day.
Okay.
Is that weird to you? Well, you have never done psychedelics before this, have you?
Yeah.
So like, this wasn't new to me.
Yeah.
But I've never used it to meditate before.
Okay.
Like the first time I even was in therapy, I was like, damn, I wish I could be meditating right now.
Wow.
I know. Because I really wanted to, I feel like the access points that it gives you into your brain, like in and of itself, you want to see what comes up in meditation, or I do.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I have to. And so I had the time, so I wanted to. I had many revelations. It was very cool.
Really?
Yeah. But the biggest one, this one is the one I want to share with you, which I just think is interesting. So a long time ago, when Michael and I lived in Charleston, our relationship was bad. It was like hard then, for a multitude of reasons. But we were, mainly to his credit, we kind of stayed together. There were a lot of times that I was like, I'm out of this. And he's like, no. But we were at our wits' end. Like we both were like, we're almost at the breaking point here. And really close friends of ours had this, she was a corporate coach, but she is and was so much more than that. Like was a life coach, had like shamanic training, I can't think of the word. When you go off and do that training, it's like, it's not minister training, but there's like
what's like theology?
Maybe.
Sort of
I don't
thing?
remember what else she was doing, but just so many things.
Yeah.
This woman had but I also think we were kind of her guinea pigs because I don't think she did relationship coaching. But anyway, we were like at our wits' end. They knew her. She came down and did like a deep dive weekend with us.
This is when you lived in Charleston.
Yeah, so I'm zooming out a long time, not related to this random ketamine meditation session.
Okay.
But it is related and you'll see why. So she does a session just with me, and like one of her strengths in this that she did with corporate people was like helping people find their gift or purpose. And so we did this whole exercise, and at the end of it, it was like mine was light. And it landed then too, because I was doing like yoga and Reiki and all this like light working type stuff. And I do have this very bright energy, and like there's a light aspect around me. And I was so into it then, and like still think it's wonderful and it lands. But for whatever reason in this session, this memory came back up. And it was like, maybe that was it, but I don't know that it is anymore. Or maybe it wasn't it then. And so you did the meeting place with our therapist
Yeah.
too, right? I did it on ketamine. So I thought it's really funny because we still haven't debriefed about what came up for yours. Even she asked me, she's like, did Katie tell you? And I was like, no, because we wanted to see, I didn't want any coloring before mine. But because my logical brain is always on, I told her, I'm like, I'm doing it wrong. And she was like, I'm like, nobody's showing up.
Oh.
But the only thing, and then it took me a while to like actually admit to her because I was like, no, I'm doing this wrong. The only thing, quote unquote, that showed up was like literal my giant beating heart was sitting at the place.
Whoa.
And I was like, but that's not a person. And she's like, let me clarify this for you. But my heart is I love so deeply in a way that is a little like it kind of hurts me at times because I have this fear now with loss and my brother and everything. But my heart is like, one time I was with Erica and like I described myself as a giant beating heart. And she was like, yes, that's exactly what you are. And it was that meeting place memory popped back up. And then it like making me realize that this gift, quote unquote, or purpose for me is actually love, but unconditional love. And so the revelation I was having is not related to just me. It was like, then all of a sudden I zoomed out and saw the earth.
Whoa.
And it was like the world that is what everybody and everything needs right now is unconditional love. Like, and we love our children unconditionally. We love our pets unconditionally, but that's where it ends, right? And it's like sometimes I love Michael mostly unconditionally, but when he annoys the shit out of me, like I'm not thinking first with how much I love him. And same thing with any person in your periphery, right?
Yes.
And it's like it's the next level of non-judgment, right? Like to strive to love everyone. And I talked to Kelly about it and I was like, I'm there in a lot of ways.
Kelly, our therapist.
Kelly, our therapist.
Yes.
But not in the like, people are doing horrible things. I don't love those people unconditionally. I don't know that I'll ever get there. Some deep religious practices like that you do, right?
Yeah.
Like Gandhi would have loved everyone. But that kind of relates to our topic today. But there's my let me dump all my revelation on you.
So many questions.
So many things.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so do you take the medicine and then do you just sit there for like 30 minutes or like what do you do?
So I did I use Insight Timer for all my meditating. And there's a feature, like, yes, you could listen to guided meditations, but there's a feature where it can just play meditative music and open and close with whatever sounds you want. So I use like a chime.
Okay.
And so I used that I did for just 30 minutes of just the music and the chime open and close. And that's when all this happened. And then I chose a guided one for like the next part. I mean, I think when I'm in my sessions, they're like 90 minutes long. This was about an hour, but I was like fine after.
Wow. And then it had worn off? Or it started
not completely, but like enough that I could function.
Yeah. Wow. So the meeting place, I think we should describe what that is to people because I think that for me in therapy was such a like healing, even just the concept of meeting different and it can show up differently for everyone.
Right. But you did it and it worked as the intention. Mine was weird and went off the rails, as you can tell. But yes, please talk about your experience.
Well, yeah. And just so the general idea and what I love about this concept is the idea of talking to or visiting or being with past or present or future versions of you. When I learned that, it like made me really emotional because I think that there's parts of myself that didn't feel like they could fully be herself or, there just certain memories come up or, but thinking about current me visiting with all of those versions. Is intense.
Yeah.
And it was very overwhelming for me when I tried it. And I was,
sober.
I was sober. Yes. But I pictured it. We were on a beach, which is funny. It sitting like around in a circle on these like really cute cushions and like different fun things.
Wait, that's weird. So was mine.
Really?
I was on a beach, but mine was like specific. I went to this like full moon like practice in Mexico a million years ago, and it was like this beautiful setup with this like mandala in the middle, like all of this stuff on this
What is
beach.
a mandala?
It's you've seen it. They like set them up with like it could be like petals or rocks or something, and it's in that shape, and then the arms go out to like different things. I'd have to show you a picture. It's like hard for me to describe. But this was specific to the full moon practice, but what you're describing with the cushions are like it's exactly where I was.
Cool.
Yeah.
So
that's weird.
Yeah, and different. Mine all sat in age order around the circle.
Oh wow.
So that, and then a couple were like louder and more uncomfortable than others. Yeah. So it was,
How do you access that? I could not.
it's not,
My fucking cushions were empty. My bloody heart was there and nobody else came.
it's not, it's more feelings than like seeing actual people.
But like, how did you even feel to pull? Like, I don't know. I had a really hard time with it. It didn't work for me in the way that it
I think
seems
I've
like it's
done
supposed to.
with previous therapists, I've done a lot of visualization practices of different versions of myself.
Okay,
So I
so
think I
you're
have
in
good
touch with them.
pictures in my head of how they think and feel. So I think maybe
Okay.
they're easier for me to access.
Maybe.
Like at like early high school, Katie,
Right.
college, like younger, middle school,
Yeah.
elementary school.
I could like, if someone told me to specifically picture those things, I could, but wouldn't know how they were feeling. Number one. Number two, like, they're not telling you for those versions of yourself to come. It's just like, sit here and see what comes up.
Yeah.
So that's why because Kelly, our therapist, when I said the heart thing, she was like, oh, wait, no, that's the way you're supposed to do this. Like for her, it wasn't versions of her specifically either. It was like weird things showed up too. So it doesn't have to be, but yours sounds exactly what I pictured it would be and should be. But
There's no
I didn't,
shoulds.
I know, but
Yeah.
I didn't have access to that.
Well, I also think that my personal opinion would be, if I had never done a visualization with a past version of myself, starting with all of them is pretty intense.
Oh, yeah, true. Maybe that's why
versus,
none
like,
of mine came.
Yeah, like picking one to kind of go back and hang out with might be just a little easier to understand the concept, because it is weird.
Yeah. And also these things, these practices, like, A, if you revisit them different times in your life, they're going to land so differently.
Yeah.
And B, because of that, you get what you need to at exactly that moment. So like for me, I think a lot of the stuff that I am working on in therapy are these like feelings and this love and prioritization of everybody else. And like I feel so deeply for people I'm not even connected to. Like it's actually kind of, it's like hard to exist in this way. And so that's probably why that was like my focal point, because we need to figure that shit out, right?
But I love that it's profoundly impacted both of us in such different ways.
Yes.
And how cool and powerful is that? Like,
Yes.
I think that there's something obviously to all of this, that's why I'm like, I mean, everyone should like think about these sorts of things if they're interested in exploring in this part of, any part of themselves. And then, relationships.
Yes.
In general, but that's your relationship with yourself. Holy shit, that's
right. The origin of it all.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Whew.
I know, it's a lot, right?
Yeah.
I told you.
Yeah.
I told you.
That's good for you, though. I'm proud of you for like, I don't know. It's when you know that heavy stuff's going to come up and you choose it. I mean, it's like a cool thing. And
I mean, the second part of it, I was like in a secret garden with fairies, no joke. So it wasn't all heavy.
God, that's like my dream. I can't wait to get there.
The interesting part is the message that kept coming up at that time was dream bigger, but not in it was like, my dreams are too human.
Whoa.
Because it was like the message that kept coming up was like dream bigger. And I was like, how much bigger can I dream? But it was like, what else I don't want anything else. What? And because I couldn't access it. It was, that one was actually weirder, but I wasn't going to bring that up because it's so out there.
Like, pretend you can be a dog?
Like, is that my aspiration? Yeah, that's what it was going for, Katie.
You want to marry Winston?
I do. Winston, actually, when I finally had people show up at the meeting place, Winston was there because he is a piece of my soul.
Literally?
Yes. That dog is.
Oh, that's where my brain went.
Yeah, because you're tapped in.
I don't know, like, but aliens? Like,
no,
what?
it was like, I don't know. I honestly don't know.
Okay.
It was, I couldn't connect to it.
Okay.
But it was like, because I was like, what bigger am I going to dream?
Become a dog.
I guess it's become a dog. So today's lesson, friends,
Jesus Christ,
is if you want to be a dog, go right ahead.
Oh my God, sorry. I don't know why. I don't even know, but that's okay. So you don't know what bigger is either necessarily.
Well, it felt otherworldly, but also so did this unconditional love thing. So there was something, some zoomed out lens about it.
Maybe you'll start a religion.
Maybe I'm an alien.
Or maybe you're the cult leader that we.
Well, when you said that, when you were like, I think you could be in a cult leader, and I was like, yeah, thanks, friend, for making me sound better, but you definitely think I could succumb to being in a cult.
if it was like super positive,
But I think you're being nice by saying a leader. Like, I think you're just,
no, I think you could attract people for sure.
mm,
I think you could do a little Pied Piper thing. I could see it.
okay. It's
I
going to be in
totally
my
see it.
cult.
Yeah.
It's going to be, what should we call it?
I don't know. Sam's.
Soul Saturdays. It's Oprah's thing. Anyway, today we're
Yes,
talking about
Jesus.
relationships.
So, and I think, but obviously, your story is such a good example of how spirituality relates to your relationship with yourself. Maybe
Yeah.
that's obvious. And I think expanding it out to all these other relationships that you have in your life, your family, coworkers, friends,
Right.
neighbors.
Right. Because I think you think of well, number one, I think, and the reason I think we're talking about this is like, we're trying to make spirituality accessible and easy and relatable. And in that way, it's actually practice and shows up in every aspect of your life. And this one is the most prevalent one because you are interacting with all of these different like energy types, souls, like all these things you want to look at it. And so if you look at the way that transpires in your life and the things you're attracting and the things that are showing up for you, just like how spiritually connected that actually is, I think is so important to reflect on and helpful.
Yeah.
Because then you're like, oh, in practicality, I can see how spirituality is showing up in my life and these ways that I relate to close people, not so close people, to your point, like all these relationships.
For sure. Well, and I think when I knew we were going to talk about this, my definition of spirituality being like the intersection of connection and meaning.
Right.
Connection is such a big piece of it.
Right.
And we have like so much to talk about, to dive into like the different parts of it. Like, but I'm curious, like off the top, for you recently in relationships, which have helped you grow the most?
So I was going to talk about points of this later because I think your biggest areas for growth that present themselves to you is your intimate relationship. So should you choose to grow through things, so it will forever be Michael. But I actually think, which is weird to even say this to you now on this, like this particular experience and what we're doing and our relationship it's big. It brings up a lot of stuff. And things that you're shining a light on that you're like, oh, I didn't know that was there. Or like, why does this feel a little uncomfy? Or like that.
We're having to be really, I think, like, of course we are mirrors to each other, like to some degree, but like we have to we're communicating literally all the time, right? In ways similar to a romantic relationship.
Similar to a romantic relationship, but we're business partners too.
Right.
And that's strange. I don't have that in anywhere else. And then, so we're making like quote unquote executive decisions about things with and apart from each other. And we're first and foremost friends. And we're doing this really weird public facing thing that's very new for both of us. So it's so many things concentrated that like I'm choosing to like thoughts or feelings or things that bubble up to look at because it's very spiritual to me. It's like, why is this making me feel this way? Why, good or bad, right?
I had the exact same answer.
Interesting.
That our relationship has forced me to grow a lot.
Wow.
Yeah.
Say more.
I think like
Tell me more.
No, I think it's you don't really get these kinds of chances nowadays to sit down with somebody and look them in the eye and not be on your phone with our kids running around. And like we do talk about the hardest things. And the truest things and the rawest things and the real things.
Well, sorry, keep going.
No. I just think having that vehicle and space to do that is major. And then B, right, we're navigating our deep friendship with this business side, which is just hard sometimes for me to like balance maybe.
No, it's true.
And how to be there for you as a friend while also like doing, having fun, it's interesting. It's tough, but I'm enjoying the growing, even if it's hard.
No, it's totally true. What I was just going to say too is like there was one, we were texting each other, which also is very hard. There's one text that we're having, and I said back to you, you're asking me to be uncomfortable to make you more comfortable. I've never, ever delivered a line like that to someone in my life, that honest about how I was feeling and that confronting of a phrase.
Yeah.
Like the fact that I was even able to say that
Yeah.
was huge
Yeah.
for me. And then for you to be like, I hated that you just said that to me.
Yeah.
That made me feel a type of way.
Yeah.
And us to talk about it.
Right.
And for how we both were feeling. But like, I'm not normally comfortable in being that direct of how I'm feeling, but we
Yeah.
have to be.
We have to be. There isn't really time.
Yeah.
But it's also like, I think we can't let things like bubble up under the surface or there'll be problems everywhere. Yeah.
Yeah. And be misconstrued. Like,
Right.
I had to tell you this is how I'm taking this.
Right.
And it's just, so yes,
Yeah.
same. It's this. This has been a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think we're both very committed to each other and like doing, I think that just, it goes to show though, I think it's putting in the work for the relationships that like really matter to you.
Yeah.
Because I was going to say too, and so my next question for you is how you would grade yourself in your relationship buckets right now. Like how you're doing.
Oh, you know what's so interesting? I literally just talked about this in therapy.
No way.
Because, well, one of my things that I work on is how I'm trying to just relate to me, not how I relate to everybody else.
Yeah.
So, like, focusing on the things I want or just even thinking of myself first ever. So I then went to Michael and had this conversation because I was like, I know I'm a great friend. Well, I always say mom first, and I do. I know I'm a great mom. I know I'm a great friend. I know I'm a great daughter. And I was like, I know I'm a great, and then I was like, I'm an okay wife, is what I said to Kelly.
Oh, wow.
And then, whatever, and then I went to some other things. I then told Michael, and he was like, hold the fucking horses. Like, you're an incredible wife. Like, why do you think you're just okay? And I'm like, we were on our first away weekend in 2.5 years. Like, there are things we don't prioritize. Like, there are, there's like conversations we could have that I could deliver things better, or I could, it's just like, and he was like, you are the most, whatever. He said all the most wonderful things. And I would say them about him too. And I would say he's a great husband. But it's interesting. So grading wise, like I give the highest to my mom, Ming. And then before being a mom, I would give the highest to my friend, Ding. I'm an excellent friend, but that very much falls to the wayside. Like I'm still a great friend, but I have this like the tiniest amount of time to give that. So in the capacity that I still have, I'm doing a great job at it. And most of my friends are in the same life stage, so they totally get it, so it's fine.
Yeah.
But it's not as strong as maybe it once was.
Yeah.
But how would you grade yourself?
Yeah, I think I would say my weakest right now is probably a lot of my other friendships. Just because, and it's also like, we'll talk about this more, but like being so intentional now about the friends that you do choose to and really invest in, and that friendships just do take up, especially like the ones that we want to have, right?
Right.
Us in particular, I think we want to have like these deep, how are you? Oh, that like the kid, Billy just went to his first baseball game. That's great.
Right.
And like, what shitstorm are you in? Or like, how do you need support? Right. And that takes a lot of time and effort that can be really hard to find.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, okay. Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
So talk to me about like, so in that vein of who you surround yourself with.
Yeah. I think this is another practical example of how it shows up so spiritually and how you can look at it reflecting things back to you, because this is going to be it feels weird for me to say it, but like the people that are very close to me, that mean the most to me, that are like maybe not in proximity around me all the time, but are like, and that I can feel, right? Like they are around me all the time. The friendships that I have, the people that are closest to me, the people that mean the most to me are the most wonderful people on this earth. Like no exaggeration at all. They are the most beautiful souls, the kindest, like just everything about them is incredible. And I feel so lucky that they are around me. And this is the part that feels weird to say, that is a reflection of how I'm showing up in the world, right? Because if I was really mean or selfish or whatever, like those people, those types of relationships wouldn't want to be in my periphery. They wouldn't want to put in the effort that I put in to keep each other around if you're like showing up as a shitty person. You don't have to you don't have to be amazing at all times. You can show up, well, you have to show up as you are. That's the only way this is authentic. But showing up as your worst self versus your best self, but underpinning like the way you make people feel and the way other people make you feel, those are the people you want to keep around, right? So I think relationships in that way, if right now someone is sitting here thinking like, well, wow, my friends are like not the best, they aren't that great to me, or they don't make me feel that great, like I think that is a sign to take a look inside. Be like, how am I showing up in the world that this is the magnetism that's coming towards me?
A couple things.
Yes, please.
I wonder how you feel about that in the context of family.
Family is interesting because family is not chosen, which makes the relationship both stronger and weaker.
But some people think it is chosen, right?
Well, I'm saying in our conscious, like, you know, whatever.
Sure.
Like your
Yes.
actual physical birthed
Yes.
family
Fair.
in our human existence.
Yeah.
Like, we'll talk about the soul choice
Yeah,
on the
yeah,
separate
yeah,
part because I have lots of thoughts on
Yeah.
that. But physically, like right now, as a human, I as a human didn't choose my parents. I as a human didn't choose my periphery, my immediate family, whatever. Do I believe my soul did? Yes. But again, another topic. But so because they're not chosen in the human existence, it's stronger. But and I think in a beautiful way, because no matter what the fuck happens, they are there. Friendships go in and out of your life, which is another thing we'll get on too, and they can be chosen family that's with you forever. But sometimes that's not how it works, right? Life bridges you in two different directions, and then 30 years from now, you talk to that person again, you're like, oh my God, I haven't seen you since whenever. And you can rekindle that relationship, great, but family is always there, whether it's strong or not. And so in that way, that's the stronger part of it. The weaker part of it is that because it's not chosen, it presents a different dynamic, which I think also relates spiritually, but not in the energetic part that I'm responding to, that I'm speaking about, but more so the like shining light of things you need to work through, because it's often like your intimate relationships, a very strong trigger and mirror of things that you
For sure.
need to work on.
Yeah. So I think, completely agree. I think and I agree that who you surround yourself with is maybe the biggest energetic thing. There was a study around this. It wasn't even, so it's like the 5 people that people have heard this, right? The 5 people that you spend the most time with, like, impact your energy the most.
Okay.
But there's a study that went further that like, it was about weight gain, which is super random.
Okay.
But like if one of my friends gained weight, it could impact you. If
One
they're
of
in
your
my,
friends
if
could
they're in
impact me.
my 5.
Huh.
So there's like a ripple effect
Oh,
of
wow.
energy. So it's even more important to really be so picky of who you spend time with, because it's not just the inner circle,
Oh,
but it's their
wow.
inner circles too.
That's fascinating.
Isn't that incredible?
Yeah. I'm immediately sitting here thinking about the people that I'm
like,
talking
are they-
about.
Yeah.
And the wonderful
who
people.
they-
And then I'm like, who are they hanging out
Right.
with?
Isn't that fascinating?
Yeah.
But it is so powerful. And I think you're right. Obviously, if you don't love your circle, or if you don't feel like they're bringing out the best in you or the
Right.
truest version of you,
Right.
it's a really good opportunity to do that. It can be really hard though,
Yes.
in practicality, to be like, okay, I've been friends with you for 20 years and now I don't think that you support me or you care about me, or it doesn't feel like a relationship that, that can
Right.
be a lot easier.
I
said than
don't
done.
actually have advice on how to navigate that.
Yeah.
Because I mean, sometimes life just spreads you apart a little bit, but like also how responsible is it to not actually be having those conversations? That's not doing you any good, right?
Right.
If you're
Have
just
you
like
had a
letting it
friend
lie.
breakup?
No.
You've never had a friend breakup?
Like a confronted conversation.
Oh, I have.
Not that I can think of.
Oh, that's so interesting.
Tell
I've had
me-
like a lot of.
Really? Are you the one who came and were like, I don't think this is working? Or
Yeah.
And then what?
It happened. I'm like, when has it happened? After college, it happened. Like with a roommate, it happened. Yeah. I mean, it's not always a huge dramatic thing, but it's a loss.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know what that says about me.
I'm thinking the same thing. I'm like, what does it say about you? But does it say that I'm weak, that I'm not? But I'm like, I'm not even thinking of anyone that I want to break up with.
But there wasn't like somebody that you got close with, and you've had that where you could get close with somebody and then drift away.
Yeah, but yeah, that's happened.
Yeah.
But also specifically what I'm thinking of right now of those people, like that was all circumstantial. There was nothing that I would have been like, I don't want to be friends anymore.
I see.
Like I would call them right now.
Okay.
That's what, like, we live near each other, now we don't. That kind of thing.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I've had a little bit more like a conscious decision to not spend my time or energy
Interesting.
or pouring myself
But
into
you know
something.
what? Every time we've recorded something, I answer in this way that's coming to my brain, and then like days later I think about it and I'm like, oh my God, I forgot about 10 things. Like in the moment I can never access these things, but then so maybe there might be something.
Yeah, no, but
But I know I've never had a conscious conversation about.
Really?
Yes, that I'm
Okay.
certain of. Because I would remember that.
Yeah. They're so uncomfy.
Yeah, no.
They're really uncomfy.
I'm also incredibly bad at confrontation. I've gotten better, but like incredibly bad. That's
I'll
why
be your
I'm
guinea
saying,
pig.
well, that's why I'm saying to you that like delivering that line to you was
Yeah.
huge for me.
That's
I am like,
good.
I just am avoid at all costs.
Interesting. Well, that could be like I'm curious of that from like the attachment perspective. I want to talk about that. But so for me with the energetics piece,
Yeah.
I think about it too so much in situations, especially like as moms now, I'm newish to my neighborhood. There's all these situations like happy hours or work things that come up.
Okay.
And what's so interesting to me, and I forget who taught me this, but it was something around paying attention to how you feel after you leave a group of people.
Lindsay said that on our episode.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
What a difference that makes. Because there will be times where I'm doing so much small talk and it is so much harder.
Yes.
And so much more draining.
Yes.
And I am so much more depleted at the end of the night versus if I just could frickin' sit in a corner and talk about
The deepest shit.
becoming a dog. Or but like, yeah.
No, I totally agree with you.
yeah.
Michael knows this about me. He's like, he makes jokes about it. Like, small talk is not my thing. If I have to go to like an event that's all very high level, I'm like dreading it.
Yeah.
But if I have to but if I have one close friend that's going to be there, I'm like, cool, I'm going to take you away and we're going to talk about all the things. And then I'm excited about it. But I cannot do the surface level shit.
Yeah, it's so interesting because people think that, oh, like I don't want to, it's too deep. I don't want to go there. And it's like, that can actually be more
like you feel fulfilled
yes,
then,
and
or like you got something out. I don't know.
Lighter in a way too.
Right.
Because I think I'm wanting to be like, okay, but like, what's really going on? What are we dancing around? Or what is the issue that we're trying to solve here?
Yeah.
And energetically it can also be really hard for me to actually see who people really are when we're dancing like that.
Yeah. I think that's, I'm also trying to get better at this, but I'm kind of naive in that I believe everyone is what they present as. That I take everything at face value, but maybe that's why I prefer these depths, because then you actually see the way a person is or like get to know them. Because also like, I don't know, sometimes the way people present and show up is a little mismatched from who they are, but they're still showing up authentically. It's just like, it's not what you're reading as they are. So it takes a while to like figure that out.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Especially like if you're meeting someone for the first time or if they're nervous or whatever the setting is.
Right. Yeah. It takes like a bit to like see the authentic person.
Yeah.
But I just believe that everyone has the best of intentions and they don't always, which is mismatched from what I'm saying about having the best people around, because I'm just getting lucky in that way then. But I don't know. I mean, I haven't always. I saw you have like notes about talking about work-wise, which is not necessarily something I immediately think about with this.
Yeah.
But my current work situation is great. A few jobs ago, same thing, like most wonderful people. But the in-between, I'm having a revelation mid-conversation.
Love it.
The in-between there, the two jobs I had, which were the lowest chunk of my life I've been, were horrible. It was right after my brother died. We lived in Charleston. Those years for our relationship, for me as a person, just so many things were like so bad. And the two jobs that I had and the people at those companies were awful.
That's interesting, isn't it?
Really interesting.
But
My friends were all really great.
yeah.
But work-wise, which I would not have went there conceptually.
Well, now that you're saying, I think a similar thing happened to me where when I was in a darker place, the relationships I had are like I mean, I would say in general, I've had a couple of my friends for a very long time, but in general, the work relationships were terrible. And I also think that that's connected and correlated. Like, I think you spend so much time with your coworkers. If they like, that's an interesting just parallel to think about because, of course, you were in a dark place because of devastating life circumstances.
Yeah.
And if they had been amazing, I don't know how much that would have.
But these people weren't necessarily my friends.
Yeah.
But to your point, they're the people I spent all my time with.
Right.
And or speaking to, because
Yeah.
some of them were remote. Like it wasn't even like physical. The second one was remote. The first ones were physically there, and the first one was way worse than the second one. But it is interesting to think about that because there were areas of my life that everything we're talking about were clearly presenting themselves, but it wasn't everywhere. Like Michael was still my partner, and he has always been amazing. Our relationship was not amazing.
Yeah.
But like he was a light in this scenario. My friends that we made there were great. Most of them, well, not most of them, a handful are close friends of mine now. Not everyone in that periphery stayed, but the work relationships specifically, or not even the work relationships, the types of people.
Yeah.
Were just not my kind of people.
Yeah.
But all the prior ones, like work relationships that I've had, are still best friends of mine. Like there's two I can think of right now that are like deep close friends of mine, completely different jobs. So sometimes it ends.
Yeah. It's just funny, but I think it's not gonna make you feel better if you're spending all this time with these shitty people when you already feel like shit.
But it is relating to the energetic component
Yeah.
because like I wasn't consciously putting this like sad depressiveness out. I was still showing up as me, which is exactly this, right? Like I presented in this way, but deep inside, so much hurt was happening.
Yeah.
And so then a big chunk of what I was attracting was people with a lot of fucking issues.
I believe that a lot. I believe, like, when I was really going through my stuff, I attracted people that are not the people that I want to spend a lot of time with now.
Right.
I'll be diplomatic there.
Right. And I often refer to myself as a walking contradiction, but this exact time frame, like clearly I was a walking contradiction. There was half of me that still, because all the friendships that were like like my deepest friends have been in my life forever. Like some since I was a child, some since college, some since my first job, but all of that was prior to this. They're all still my closest friends. So that all transcended. Like I still had these people surrounding me that were wonderful. And then in the thick of the center, because I probably a lot of stuff that I had to work on and look at. I didn't know that then. I have such a different perspective now of like this, right? Like I didn't have any of this meat of ways to get me through it that I have now. And I also wouldn't have thought about it that way had you not just brought that up.
But
it's fascinating.
Yeah, isn't it? And I think you have to have some of that in your life.
Totally.
You cannot have all sunshine rainbow relationships that are always great. Like that's just not being a human.
Yes. But even the relationships that are great, like you can have those, and those can have periods of difficulty.
Of course.
And that's where, like, before we were talking about this and the way that they're showing up, like it is a choice to use relationships as growth or a choice to use them to stay in the thick of it and, you know, be the excuse part, I guess.
For sure.
Right?
I mean, Mike and I talk about, we are like, I would say 100 versions removed of the people we were when we got married.
Yeah.
Like the growth. And if we did not grow together,
you wouldn't be.
No,
together.
I mean, and so
how many years have you been together now?
Holy crap. 19.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm 19 years old.
I know.
Let alone being with someone for 19
Yeah. We've been together a long time.
That's insane.
Yeah. I know. And like,
how old were you when you started dating?
18.
Wow. The fact that
Wait,
math makes sense is
I know.
insane. No, you're right.
I'm a baby.
Yeah.
I'm a baby too. Just
you are
like
a baby.
you.
We're babies. But wow.
Yeah. And like, the version of me then, the version of him then, that like,
Totally.
and I always though remember, and his brother Tyler asked me before we got married, like, what is it about Mike? And I said his energy. And so that like he like has this grounding energy. And it's like, right, we're riding these waves, we're becoming these different people, but it's like that.
The underlying
Yeah.
current.
And I think that's maybe what doesn't change. I don't know. That's an
about
interesting
people.
concept of like their own, because that now I'm like opening my own like box, because sometimes people, right, like I wonder how good our energy was when we were in these shitty places, right?
I think you're right. I think I had this college friend that was so I went to 2 colleges, and she's my best friend from my first college, and she's the fucking best. But we were just talking about ways and like things about that period of time, and that was also not a great period of time for me, of just like things, and I've talked about it before, but like transferring and just like things, ways I was looking at myself changed, like my confidence, like all these aspects was like a lower state. And I assumed that I was showing up really shitty because I was feeling really shitty. And she was like, you're the best. Like you were kind. You were never any of these things that you are thinking that you were feeling. So I think you're right. I think we can be the worst versions of ourselves, but the underlying energetic makeup is always going to be the same.
Yes.
That sounds correct. to me.
I buy that.
Yeah.
Cool. We're like mind exploding.
I know.
I want to hear what you have to say about mirrors.
Mirrors is such an interesting concept. All of our relationships are.
I think I like the
but-
Justin Timberlake song.
Literally, it's the first thing that comes into my head. I like sing it to myself, and then I have to stop it because I'm like, that's not related to this at all. I had a really hard time understanding the mirror concept. Now I fully get it, but it was so difficult to me to wrap my head around, because when I was introduced to it was when Michael and I were at our worst. And we were just fighting all the time. Like it was, I like sad. It was emotionally depleting. Like it was a lot. We were going through it. And I found out or like read about or whatever, because it was right after my brother died. So it's when my spiritual journey restarted. So I was like very deep in these concepts. And I had such an issue with this one. I'm like, this makes no fucking sense. I'm not being an asshole to myself. How is this
How
a
do you
mirror?
Because I've heard of the concept, but how do you explain it? Yeah.
It's you're being like, think of it as an actual mirror. It's like what is being reflected back to you is what has like that you need to see and work on. So like my experience of what's happening is not he's not doing it to me. It's how I'm perceiving it and how it's showing up. So it was like very hard. I feel like I can't even articulate it as well now as I like like the realization moment then, because it's hard, right?
Yeah.
But it's hard to really describe, but it's like the relationships are all put here for us, especially our closest intimate ones, to shine a light on all of these things that are like your core wounds, right? And so like how I'm perceiving him or how I'm perceiving that I am in the situation, like the things that it's triggering for me are my things to work on. And in reality, like let me try to give a really like stupid tangible example, but I used to get like so worked up about him not, I like the house really, really clean or like whatever certain things, and him just like, to me, completely dismissing all the things that I asked for, basically giant slap in the face, not listening to what I requested and what blah, blah, blah. Like for him, he never intentionally left the dishes out in the sink as like,
to annoy
fuck
you.
her.
Right.
I don't care about her. And clearly I wasn't feeling worthy enough, because that is what I felt like he didn't care about me. That act was a showcase of him being like, I don't fucking care about her. Him leaving the dishes in the sink is no reflection on how he cares about me, how he shows up in so many other ways.
Right.
But that's what I was choosing to see, or the lens I was seeing it through, because that was the mirror of the thing that I needed to heal. Like I didn't feel good enough for a lot of that, and that had nothing to do with him. And also he would like you hear and it's like perception is reality. You hear and perceive things in the energy space that you're in. So I was in a low energy space and I wasn't feeling good about myself. And I had the body image issues that all these things were showing up then. And so he could have told me I looked beautiful every single day. I was very combative anytime I got a compliment, which he was like, well, okay, I guess I shouldn't say them. And so he then like never knew what to do or how to respond. And so then to me, I was like, he's not attracted to me. He never tells me I'm pretty, like all these things. When in reality, he was feeling that way and saying those things, but I wasn't hearing them. So it's my reality.
Yeah.
So the mirror concept is hard to wrap your head around, but when you take ownership of all of your shit, it makes it make sense.
I love though the way that you broke that down of like, and I'm like, I think this is so relatable because I think being like, he isn't doing this for me because I am not good enough is like such a, like, I bet you there's a lot of like, and I don't want to gender too much, but like that's a wife-husband dynamic, like the resentment, right? Or that sort of buildup. Such an interesting concept to think about it as you not loving yourself enough.
Totally. I did not love myself in those stages. So I could not receive love from him.
And that's wild.
And I love myself so much now. And he fucking loves the shit out of me. And he always did.
Yeah.
But I couldn't receive it.
And I think that this is a specific case. Like there's definitely situations where men are not treating women well. And they should,
totally.
right?
Yeah, no. Michael was great. I've had shitty boyfriends too. And I loved myself while I had those shitty boyfriends. And they were just shitty boyfriends. But I'm sure there was something then in my young self that I didn't, there were things I had to learn and work on that I couldn't possibly articulate now because I'm out of touch with those stages of myself that you are not. But yes, this does not excuse actual bad behavior. That is a different conversation.
It's wild to think about resentment as a form of protection. Because I've worked on that in therapy too around like, well, if I don't, oh man, yeah, it's like if you get really angry or if you really go down to the core thing, that like that's the fear is like, what if that affects the relationship? And I'd rather have a relationship, even if it's a resentful one, than none. So that goes into like
that's interesting.
Attachment stuff.
Okay,
too.
yeah, say more.
Okay. So the attachment theory, there's 4 types of attachment styles. Anxious, which is, and I've got my notes here, like fear of abandonment. So that's, I think, what I felt a lot of early on in my relationship with Mike.
Okay.
I definitely had the anxious attachment style.
Okay.
Secure is healthy.
The dream.
Yes. Avoidant is fear of vulnerability.
Okay.
So being afraid of showing your true full self.
Oh.
And and then disorganized is like the 4th one that I think is newer, but it's unpredictable. So it can bounce back and forth between anxious and avoidant and typically starts in childhood where
all of this starts in childhood.
Yeah.
They all are foundationally created
by your relationship with your caregivers,
right.
Yes, and your siblings.
Which is why this is like one of the things I talk about in therapy because I so deeply want to make sure that I'm setting my kids up the best I possibly can.
Yeah.
And the therapist, Kelly, she was like, the best thing you could do is for children to have 2 securely attached parents.
Yeah. And
then you're kind of okay.
Yeah.
So I'm not so versed in these. I need to dive deeper because maybe I'm disorganized because like there are pieces of both that relate.
I bet you're mostly secure.
I'm mostly, yes, I think the overarching one is kind of secure. Yeah. But there are flavors of the other ones. And you know what else is interesting? Because I listened to a podcast on it when Kelly and I first started working together because I was trying to understand it more. Anxious and avoidant always attract each other.
Yeah.
Not always, but most of the time.
I think Mike,
you were anxious and he was avoidant. Yeah. I think that's probably
and that's a really hard,
but
it makes sense, right? Like the anxious person's wanting more and they're not giving it.
Right. It makes sense for us too, but also not because I'm independent to a fault. So when things were bad, I was always like, see ya. And he was like, slow your fucking roll. Like do
you know what's funny is when I knew we were having this conversation, I was like, you're not avoidant, but actually there might be a teeny tiny bit of that, which is fast. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the avoiding confrontation part,
there's I'm like loyal to a fault. Like I wouldn't, but if there's Yeah, there's like things
Which
that
I
I
didn't think
could.
about. Like,
Yeah,
that's fascinating.
I know. There was the same person I was referencing, the life coach person.
Yeah.
When she was describing it, she was like, it's like you have the back door cracked open.
Yeah.
Not that you have one foot out the door, but you're not fully closing it. And when she said that, the moment, like how hard that hit me like a ton of bricks, it was like, yeah, because I do feel I was all in on the relationship and obviously still am, here we are. But it was like I never, because the hurt and all of these other components and the being left, maybe that's how it was presenting for me. Like, I'm not going to let you leave me.
Yeah.
I'm going to leave you.
Totally. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah,
And I think we all have flavors of that, like in all relationships too. Like
totally.
things energetic wise, like people bring different things out of us, and it's
Which is why they're there.
exactly. I know. But those lessons around like the way you react to somebody, right? Like even like if me and my brother get back into like a pattern of fighting like when we were kids, right? Like that's lovely. But it like brings up these like
Yeah.
even when you're talking to your parents, like you start to feel like a kid again, or like
Oh, yeah,
feeling
yeah,
that
yeah.
it's like, whoa.
Yeah. No, like intimate relationships and parent
Yeah.
relationships are the most triggering. Yeah.
Yes.
And it's like things that you need to look at to heal, which is a totally different lens that I see it through now. But because for a while it just bothers you. But then you're like, okay, what do I need to look at here? Why is this making me feel this way?
Well, it's just what's so interesting too is like in all this like healing work, it's like, yeah, doing it with your intimate relationships is great. But then now I thought I would like kind of like, okay, that's appropriate. But now we're doing it like, just having, no, seriously. No, but like having hard conversations with your friends.
Yeah.
With it outside of your inner circle too.
Right.
It's healthy in any environment.
Yes. And that's a choice too.
Yeah.
Like if you want to choose to grow,
Yeah.
you have to face this stuff.
Yeah. And it's not fun.
No, but from a soul perspective, when you said we are chosen, we're not chosen, like in theory, with all of this exploring that I've done, reading, medium connections, all the things, what they say is we have like soul groups.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so actively we choose to incarnate together and then show up in relation in different ways for these teachings, for these growth components. So we choose our parents. We choose, like Michael and I have definitely been connected in past lifetimes, but not necessarily as husband and wife.
Which is also such a weird concept.
Such a weird concept. But so all of it is chosen, which I also think is really cool and why I have such a deep gratitude for my children. Because I'm like, you chose me. That's amazing. Like you actively chose me to be your parent.
I don't want to fuck it up.
I don't want to fuck it up. But maybe I'm supposed to.
Yeah.
Like there's an onus that we all need to take, but in this soul aspect, like it is meant to happen in that way. The part that is so hard, and I'm sure people would be listening and thinking and feeling this way, but that I can deeply relate to is the like, okay, so my brother and I chose to be brother and sister. My brother chose to be our parents' child. And then we all chose that we're going to experience this horrible trauma. He chose to leave this plane early. Like that's unbelievable to accept that you're like, yeah, I believe it in all these ways. I believe Katie and I chose each other. I believe my kids chose me, whatever. And then this one, I don't want to believe because like, why were we that cruel? Right? Like that is awful. I'm like, why did he was the fucking best. Like he should be on the planet longer than most shitty people, right? Like all of those things that like you can't choose to believe it in only certain aspects. So I had to, fully embrace
how do
this.
you like
that
is there like a I don't even know how to ask, but it's like, is there a why there that you can wrap your head around?
I was just having this conversation with my cousin last night because before he died, I did deeply lean into and believe everything happens for a reason, like big time. And there is an aspect of me that definitely still does, but that was shaken when that happened because, again, the fuck would be this reason?
Yeah.
And so if I think you'll drive yourself crazy if you don't find some sort of acceptance in it. So I think I did seek that meaning, and for it was my then spiritual outlet and spiritual connection. It did cause a lot of ripple effect in my life in a lot of ways and like teach me a lot of things. Like there's aspects of it that and just like things I had no choice but to deal with. Like, I'm not in a good way, right? Like, and then there's no positive thing to pull out of this way. Like, just the acceptance of the reality that this is life, and dealing with that. And there's so much hard shit that happens and continues to happen. And that's probably not going to be my only experience with things like that. And I wish I had a better explanation as like why these horrible things happen.
I know.
But they just do.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, he was such a bright, shining star. Like, maybe his light couldn't sustain. Like, it burnt out, right? Quickly. I'm gonna cry. And it sucks. So, I don't know. I don't know that I have a reason for that, but I know that I still believe in the soul component of it. And I know that his soul is still around me. And maybe that's it, right? He's guiding me from a more powerful place than he could.
I wish I could have met him.
I know. There's so many people in my life that I hate that he didn't. 'Cause he was just the best, like truly the best. Way better than me.
No.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't even know what to say. I think that, God, I mean, that is like and do you still feel like you have a relationship with him now? Like,
Yeah, there's like so many things that I'm like, I just wish I could actually get his take on this that I can't. Like, and I think that's why I seek out so much of this stuff.
yeah.
And I can't wait for the day that I stop being afraid of it and I actually can get the messages or whatever. Because I think he could give me and sometimes does I mean, I get so many signs from him all the time. Like, I know he's always there and like our music connection or all these things. So yes, I do feel like is there, but like I would love a direct fucking sentence of what he thinks about so much shit, right? And like the fact that I have twins, like he'd probably just be laughing at me, like, haha, like, and also if anyone can handle it, it's you, like all this stuff, there's so much. So like, yes, I still have a relationship with him, but it's a different one.
But it's, and you'll get there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll hold your hand.
One day I'm going to be sitting on the show and be like, my brother's standing right
Yeah,
there.
oh my
and
God,
it's gonna
holy
be
shit,
fine.
Yes, you're gonna, let's have that.
I mean, maybe. The like physical seeing is the stuff that
It's
really
so
freaks me
intense.
out.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Mm.
I don't even know how to but
Pivot.
I know. So I guess, okay, let's just pivot. I don't have like a gentle or, like a good way to
There's never a good way
I
when
know.
that stuff comes up.
When you have relationships. So have you had relationships where you've had to like then set boundaries or like, I know, and I love the people in my life too. I want to be very abundantly clear of that. But are there ever relationships or things that you have to set boundaries of like, okay, this isn't working for me, or like maybe I don't need to see this person 5 times a week? Or have you ever had an experience like that where you have wanted to take a step back from a relationship?
Maybe.
Okay.
Because I've never had like the confronting conversations, I want to say that it's just happened naturally.
Yeah.
Like I was probably conscious of it and then just like it distanced itself, right? But then there's ones that like I wouldn't have wanted that to happen to, that it's also just happened, right? Or not, it wasn't like conscious at all. So I think it all naturally unfolds as it's supposed to, if maybe you have the intention behind it.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Yeah, I'd be interested, like, and I mean this from I'm curious of what other people in your life that are not as close to you anymore, if like they're more sad about it than you are.
Or maybe they were like, fuck her.
Maybe.
We want to distance ourselves.
Oh, no. I think more the other way, maybe.
What?
But like that they wanted to be closer.
You see me very lovingly. I don't know.
I do.
I don't know, but I have this thing about, this about me, this about friendships, relationships, but friendships specifically. Effort is really, really big for me. Effort and I guess we'll call it energy, but care and feeling. So if it's not both, it's one or the other. So like I put forth a lot of effort into the relationships that matter and mean a lot to me. And if that effort isn't reciprocated, I'll keep trying. And then if it's like again and again repeated, then I just stop, I give up. So I think if these people you're referring to, if they really wanted to be close to me, we would, because if there's reciprocated effort and the energy is matched, we'd still be close. But like I back away when I'm not receiving what I'm putting in, because I can't keep giving all of myself. And it hurts, right? It's like, this is shitty. Why am I spinning my wheels? And I think a lot of the people on the receiving end, like, probably aren't seeing it that way. They're probably giving me all they can give. But if I'm feeling like I'm giving 80 and you're giving 20, then like
Yeah.
I'm fine with giving what you're giving, and that's where our relationship will lie. But there are exceptions to that rule, because there are certain people that like make me feel and so deeply loved, and so like leaving any time or conversation with them is so deeply fulfilling that even if they're not there all the time, I'm excusing them for that.
Yeah.
There's a few that are like that.
That's what I think that's what, because the effort does not come naturally to me.
Oh yeah, I know.
It is not, but it has nothing to do with how much I love like, it's just how I am. And
Right.
so that's what's interesting too, is like but that has nothing to do with how much I love you. I think it's like the way you show love and the way that you want to receive it, right?
Right.
And it makes sense. I mean, as a baseline, it totally makes sense. And like, I don't even know how to describe, like, this is what matters. And obviously probably to you too, but like, this is what matters to me the most in relationships, is like when we do talk, it's.
But how do you, like, unless you put forth effort to make those dates or situations or phone calls,
Yeah.
you're not having them. Like, you can't have a relationship without effort.
But and I think a lot of my closest relationships, I talk to 5 times a year.
Wow.
Yeah. And then we'll talk for 2 hours and like go in.
Right.
But yeah, a lot of my really good friends
Wow.
that I like my best. Some of my very like
Right.
my friend Joni is like my soul sister.
Yeah.
And we like never talk.
The one that I'm saying I like deeply excuse all of this for is Laura, because
Okay.
she's like, I think, the best person on this planet.
Yeah.
But she also, like, she lives very far away, so it's like hard to
Yeah.
coordinate, and we have time zone differences. Like, there's a lot of factors, and her job is very different than mine, like all the things. So we don't, like, I would talk to her every day if I could.
Okay.
I honestly, I also couldn't, like, physically I'm not
Right.
capable, but if I could, I would love to. And she's much more of an in-person kind of
Yeah.
friend, or just person.
Yeah.
But the depth of like, and no one can show you how much you mean to them like she can. So like, it doesn't matter that we don't see each other, or
I know.
but there are a handful of people that our friendships will transcend that. But the other, like, the other ones, I'm like, well,
Like me?
no, you transcend it too. Although you put in some effort. It's
I'm
more the
working on
plans
it.
with you.
I'm
We talk all the time, but it's the like, why am I dragging this out of you? Do you want to hang out or not? And if it's like repeatedly no, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna stop trying.
But that's right. We've
Right.
luckily worked this out. But it's not. It's I don't know a worse person in the world at plans than me. It like looking at a calendar date. Like,
I mean, I hate it too, which no one would believe because I'm incredibly good at it.
you just do it.
But I have to
Yeah.
be, yeah. Because I mean, I think maybe living in New York is what like bred this for me. But like, you don't spend any time in your apartment, and your life is so busy and full, and you have there's so many things at your fingertips. So like, if you want to have relationships, you have to make plans for them. And so instead of if you just happen at the bar with the coworkers and that's the only people you're going to be with. So I like had to plan my weeks out of like, okay, I'm going to do that, whatever. And then that evolved into now I plan everyone's lives.
Yeah.
I plan every single thing of every person around me. And I
Maybe that's a part of
don't
it is
love it.
and you just do it, but you include Michael, you include the kid. Like that's maybe I think I'd be better just doing me. I think I am better just doing me versus like
Yeah.
having to do everybody else too.
Yeah. And luckily, even now, because I have no bandwidth for it, but I have a group of incredible friends here that our kids are all the exact same age. We met at the exact time. They're also all really good at planning.
Great.
So like we'll have this group
That's-
text. Right now we have plans into November.
Holy shit.
I know, but like we
But that's-
wouldn't do these things if they didn't do that. I had
Yes.
nothing to do with this. I responded.
Yes.
I've planned a lot of the other events. Like, it's not all one person, but Amanda, the one I referred to, she was like, sorry, I'm being annoying. And we're like, you're not
No,
annoying. We're
thank-
grateful.
thank you.
Like, this is
Yes.
amazing that you're carrying this, like,
You need somebody
torch.
to do it.
Exactly.
Yeah. There was a mom like in my mom's group that was the planner. Like,
Yeah.
thank you.
Right.
Yeah.
Especially now, it's like I don't even have time to. Did I eat breakfast? I don't remember. Right. Like to see one foot in front of the other.
For sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so what else do you want to talk about? Because I think
I don't know. I think we covered
yeah.
most all of this.
It's
Relationships are interesting.
Yeah.
And if you choose to really look at them, can be this like huge window of spiritual growth, physical growth, human growth, like mental growth, all these things. And so I think we're lucky in that way that we have them. And I think if someone's sitting here listening, being like, mine aren't the best, or like maybe not what I would choose, like take a look at it. How is it making you feel? Why do you think it's showing up that way? And then lean into the ones that do make you feel the best. Like surround yourself with the people that make you the best version of yourself.
totally.
And maybe if you're out of touch with what that is, then that's something to look at too. But I am grateful that I have beautiful relationships around me and that I have ones that can be a little sticky and help me grow. No, that's not what I meant about
Right.
you.
Yeah.
All right.
No, I think.
What are you?
Yeah. What am I pulling?
Yeah, what are you getting, girl?
There's some. Okay, so I think this is actually perfectly segues to exactly what you were saying,
Okay.
because it starts with like the Four of Swords, which is traditionally the card of rest, but I think it's like the assessing, evaluating. It's like taking a step back and looking at what's in your life. Nine of Swords then is it's kind of like an anxiety card. It's like being up at night, but I think it's getting that clarity and that truth. Swords again is the card of communication.
Right.
So it's like preparing to have these conversations. And then Three of Cups is that emotional fulfillment. So it's like gathering together. It can also be the infidelity card, but we're not talking about it in that context.
Weird.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
obviously not talking about that. And then King of Cups. So it's like graduating, like assessing, really getting clear about what matters with the swords, with that communication style.
Yeah.
And then moving into, it's going to clear up your relationships. The sun always reminds me of you.
No.
So the King of Cups is the master of feelings, like being like so intentional with where you put time and energy, but it is like an emotional water card. So I think it's cool to see like that sort of the evolution of a way to get more clarity there.
Yeah. That was great.
Yeah.
Really lovely.
Well, I appreciate you and I love you so much.
I love you too.
What a fucking privilege to be able to. Serious. Now I'm gonna cry. Like,
oh my God.
But this is a privilege.
Yeah.
This is a huge privilege.
Thank you for saying that, because right now I feel pretty uncomfy. I feel like I did a lot of exposing. I don't know why.
But I think that's
Yeah.
who we are, and that's true.
Yeah.
And I love you. Like, we can do this, and I'm still here, right? Like, nobody's going. Like, I think that's it. Yeah, we can do it, and we can. Like, it's good.
Yeah. I know. I love you.
We're not breaking up.
We're definitely not breaking up. We're fucking married. So.
I know, yeah. Sign the papers.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Love you.
Oh.